Hi everyone, it's me Jen from EmJustLikeYou, and today I have a review for you guys. A lot of you have actually requested this review on the RAE brushes. Now I have not complete collection, but I find that I do have a great variety of different brushes from the collection where I can make a great review for you guys. So I've been using it for about a year now, and I've been meaning to do a review, but I felt like I don't know if you guys can get access to it or if you even want to see the review. So it was a little bit harder, you know, it took me some time to just really use the brushes. RAE is a brand from Australia. It is actually a brand from the makeup artist RAE herself. She is such a talented, creative, as well as just a very famous makeup artist. And when she came out with these brushes, I was just actually looking through the internet looking for some brushes to use and actually to purchase, and I really was intrigued by the brushes that she came up with. These are new ones that she just came out with. She's had a brush type of collection for a while now. What drew me to these brushes obviously is that it is on this plate and they are magnetic. So I can actually flip this one upside down slowly. And look at this. It is magnetic, you guys. Look at how amazing this is. Now, at first you're probably thinking, what's so amazing about it? Well, I think the concept is so spectacular. Could you imagine just washing your brushes and just sticking them upside down like this to dry? It is the best invention ever. Just having it here, I find it so much more sanitary. You don't have to pick it up from the top of the brush. You have it really laid out and easily seen on the countertop or on the makeup table. And that way you can actually just grab whichever one you want and you can see them individually so much better. So I absolutely love the concept. RAE did do a very smart thing and patent this idea. No one else can have it. I think she is so talented, so smart to do that. And you know, even though the concept is really cool, I really wanted to try out the brushes to see if the quality meets up to the expectation as well as the concept overall. So these brushes are, I find, to be kind of like a higher end pricing. They are made out of natural bristles and there are some that are synthetic. Now, I didn't clean these to do this review because I did want to show you that I do use them and how they look like when they are used. Now, some of them are clean because I did want to show you how they look like clean. So first off, these brushes are pretty high quality. They have really nice natural hairs on them and some have really great synthetic, and because some of them are synthetic you can't even tell, which I think is a big plus. So I'm going to start out with some eye brushes first. So the first one I want to talk about is this one. This is the 8.5 Cream Shadow Shader. This is in a white color type of brush. Now of course this one is dirty. This is how it would look like when it's dirty, but when after you wash it, it will get white just like this brush right here. They come looking exactly the same, and after you use it, it gets a little bit colored, and then afterwards you can wash it easily and it'll turn white again. So this brush is great to use with just an eyeshadow that is creamy. So what I like is to put the eyeshadow onto the lids, just completely put it on with my fingers, and then just using this brush to blend it out. Now as you can see, this is very tapered, so I find it to be really easy to blend out any product because it blends the product while not moving it too much. You don't want to move any cream products too much because it then can look muddy, as well as it can also look very messy. So with it being tapered at the top, it gives you more control to prevent the color from going outwards and then just making a big mess all around the eyes. I do also like this to use as a contour brush to contour really precise areas on the face as well as down the nose area. I love this brush because I can use it with cream products. It doesn't ruin the brush with all the creamy and oils that are in the cream product. It really blends it out beautifully. So definitely, if you are a type of person that likes to wear a lot of cream eyeshadows, I don't see any other brush out there from other brands that can actually be an alternative or replacement for this brush in particular. Alright, so the next one I want to talk about is number 9, which is the Detail Point Shader. This has to be one of my favorite eyeshadow brushes of all times, just because my eyes are pretty small. The space I have from my brows to my eye is a little bit tighter, the space is tighter, so I can't really use larger brushes to blend and give precision. I find that a lot of pencil brushes by MAC, by Sigma, they're a little bit rougher and I can't really blend any eyeshadow on the bottom of my lash line or the crease very precisely. I think that when I put on the eyeshadow with those brushes, it is more, it feels more blotchy. With this one, I find it to be very smooth and it can really go in and cut the crease beautifully, but at the same time, because it's so tapered, I find that it's so nice to blend while you're defining the crease. So I absolutely love this brush. I think that this is a great one. It isn't too long where you don't get enough control, but it isn't too short where you're dispensing too much product. What I like to do is go into the eyeshadow with the tip of the brush, and then when I apply it, I put a lot more pressure into the eye, and that way the brush, the tapered part of the brush can actually blend the eyeshadow into the crease. Alright, so speaking of blending, the next brush is the blending brush by RAE. This is the 7.5 Deluxe Round Shader. Now they have a pointed shader and other sizes, but this one I felt like is the perfect size to blend out any eyeshadow. I want to blend it out into almost nothing. So I wanted something that's going to be rounded. I find that if it's more tapered, you have more control. So in certain areas, you might blend too much, but when it's rounded, it's a little bit better. Also, a great brush to have. Now the next brush is my second favorite brush, and this is number 12. This is the Lash Line Smudger. At first, I didn't think I would use this as a line lash line smudger. I would actually use it as to place my eyeshadow, but after using it as the line lash smudger, I have fallen in love with this. You've seen me use this a lot if you've seen my tutorials, especially with my liquid liner on the bottom. I like to just use this to smudge it out. It gives you such great control, and the way that it smudges out the shadow or the liner, it just does a great job. It isn't fat, like it isn't too dense where you feel like it's smearing all over the place, or a thicker line. I find that it gives you a really thin, precise type of smudge. So definitely I love that one. The next brush is this angled brush, which is the brow definer. I actually like using this for the brows, but I also like using it for my gel liners. I love using an angled brush for my gel liner, and this is also made out of synthetic hair, so it isn't going to grab too much of that gel liner where you feel like it's soaking it up. I really hate using like natural bristle brushes on gel or creamy products. So I love using that to create a wing liner. But again, this one is pretty dense, but it's so soft. I kind of don't like using this as the brow. I find that rougher angled brushes work better in the brows area, but this could work if you just want to kind of just put in some definition into the brows. But overall, I like this one much better for eyeliner. Alright, so the next eye brush is this one. This is the one that is so tiny, it has a little bit of a bent to the end. This is number 15 Precision Bent Liner, and this has a really precise and elongated type of brush at the end. So I do love using this with my liquids as well as my gel liner. It gives you that really precise brush, that really precision in placing the liner. I can really go into the inner corner and place the eyeliner in there, as well as I can really make the line really tight to the lash line as well as really thin. I absolutely love the way that it's bent. It's really easy to use. But again, this isn't something that I find to be different from any other bent eyeliner brushes. I just do find that the brush itself is really really compact, so the line is really crisp and you won't have any featheredness to the line when you're creating on your eyes. Alright, so the next smaller brush that I have from the collection is their lip brush, and this is number 19. This lip brush is different from the other ones I've had just because this one has like a square, straight edge to it, which is great to really go into the sides of the lips and really create a crisp line on the lips area. What I do notice is that because it's a little bit longer, it's a little bit harder to apply. I feel like this is much better for you to apply on other people because you need a little bit more flick to the brush in order to give you that precision when you're applying it on other people. But on myself, I find that because the distant from myself to the brush, it is a little bit harder to create that. I wish it was a little bit shorter. For the face brushes, I have a total of 4. So I got these 2 right here just because I found them to be so different from any other brushes I've ever seen in any other collections. These are made out of natural goat hair, and these are the number 2 mini kabuki and the Deluxe Kabuki. Now in the website it looks a lot larger than this, but I actually like that it's smaller. I like smaller brushes because they're more precise and you can really get into the creases. I mean, our face is not that big, and a really big brush is going to just dispense the product not in a precise and correct area that you would want. Now with these 2, I like using this one to set my under eye concealer with a powder, and just using it with a powder overall in every area, just because it's super tapered, and because it's so tapered it picks up loose powder, regular powder really nicely, and you just tap it into the product and you can see how much it picks up, and then you just have to place it onto the skin and it just lays onto the skin beautifully. It melts the product into the skin. Now this one, it's also very tapered, it's a lot larger, and it's a little bit skinnier. As you can see, this one's a little bit more fluffy and kind of wider. Now because this is a little bit skinnier, it's still so tapered that if I tap into a bronzer, you can see it right away. And what I do like it for is to really contour into the sides of my cheeks and using it in certain areas where I need precision. Definitely think that these are great. You can't really find it anywhere else, and if you had to pick any face brushes from them, these probably would be the top picks that I would recommend. I also like that the handles are a lot shorter, so when you're working close to the mirror, you're not going to have that bumping issue. So that's a plus. And because it's shorter, I find that it isn't too heavy. And because it's not too heavy, it's so much better for you to just place it under something that is metal to dry the brushes after you've washed it. Just because if it was heavier, the magnetic end wouldn't be able to be strong enough to hold the brush. So the next face brush that I have is number 22, and this is the Pro Powder. This one is definitely not a dense one. It's very fluffy and it's very tapered. This one is made out of blue squirrel hair and it's super duper soft. I absolutely love this to place my powders and to blend out any contouring, blend out any blush. And because it's so flexible and tapered, I do find that when I blend out anything, it doesn't grab too much of the product. So your product that you have on your face will still stay there. It's just going to blend out beautifully. And then the last brush I have from Ray Morris is this one. This is the number 3 Ultimate Cheekbone, and I absolutely love this for contouring. This is so renovative. It's amazing. Look at how thin it is, where it isn't too thin where you feel like you don't have any control, but it isn't too thick where you feel like you're going to just glob on a big line of bronzer. So what I like to do is apply the bronzer to the tip that is shorter, and then going downwards like this to have the most product dispense here and gradually have it gradient downwards. So then I like to just use this to blend out the product. I think this one works beautifully. It's short, it's light, it's so easy to travel with, and I find that if you are a person that doesn't really know how to contour very well, this is going to be your best friend because it makes contouring so easy. Alright you guys, that is basically my review. I hope that it was helpful. I just wanted to share with you how I use it and basically what I thought of the brushes. For the price, I think that the quality meets to the price. I do find that these brushes are one of a kind and the quality is really, really great. So definitely check them out. They do have free shipping if you spend a certain amount, and what's great about it is that there's no tax, and also on top of it, if you do want to return anything, they do take returns as long as you don't open it, which did happen to me. I did buy a couple of other brushes, and when I saw them in person, I was like, wow, this is too small, or wow, this one's too thick. Then I just returned it and that was fine. So if you have any questions regarding these brushes, definitely leave them in the comments below and I will try my best to get to them and answer you. And of course, I will see you in my next video. Bye!